March 30th will, of course, be the introduction of Premier Boxing Champions on Prime Video, a momentous occasion. And, of course, the first fight was supposed to happen, that being Thurman versus Tszyu, but Thurman got hurt, so he pulled out. So now it's Sebastian Fundora stepping up, and it makes it a wee bit better. Because before, it wasn't a title fight, and now I think it's been confirmed it will be for the WBO, which Tszyu obviously has, the WBO Championship, and the vacant WBC Championship, which Fundora was supposed to fight for against another person, but we'll talk about him later. Of course, co-main event is Rolly Romero defending his WBO Super Lightweight World Championship against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and of course, it's a very stacked undercard. And how stacked, you may ask? Elijah Garcia, also known as the opener of pay-per-views, is on the prelims now. So you know that it's they cooking, right? But of course, Elijah Garcia is of course coming off of a very big win against Jose Resendiz or Armando Resendiz on the Canelo Charlo undercard. Very nice. But now he is fighting Kyrone Davis. Of course, Kyrone is 18-3 with 1 draw, 6 wins by way of knockout, 1 loss by way of knockout, and of course a draw. You may be wondering who this guy is. Well, this guy has fought very familiar opponents. He first lost to Junior Castillo via unanimous decision. He then lost to Patrick Day via unanimous decision, and then he went split decision draw against the former champion Anthony Durrell. And of course, most people know what the TKO loss is, and that's of course to David Benavidez. After that, he's been fighting less than stellar opponents, but he is one durable dude. David Benavidez, of course, stopped him in the 6th round or 7th round. And of course, Elijah Garcia is a perfect fighter, 13-0, 13 by way of knockout. And of course, while having very little fights, he is on BoxRec anyways, ranked number 8 in the world, which you could say, oh, that's good on him. And the other side, you could be, the middleweight division is kind of trash, but whatever. Of course, he's coming off of a bunch of big wins. Of course, Vidal Jr., Salgado, and Resendiz, very tough cookies. Except there was one more natural middleweight. Of course, that was Vidal Jr. Salgado and Resendiz moved up from 154 to 160, so very obviously smaller opponents. He will be fighting some dude that fights at 168. Went 6 rounds with David Benavidez. Very nice. But unfortunately, due to the lack of good opponents recently, Kyrone's going to get, not stopped, he's going to go decision. Why? Because Garcia has one very fatal flaw. And you may be wondering, what is that? He likes to block punches with his face. Whether it's because he just doesn't know how to block, or when they teach him how to block, it's complete garbage. But he got bloodied against Resendiz and Vidal. Salgado, not so much, because Salgado went to the body. But I do think he gets it done by decision and be fighting a bigger guy, which, may or may not be weight drained on the way down. But for the most part, I do think he will get it done by decision. And of course, the guy that was supposed to fight for the vacant belt, Serhiy Bohachuk, obviously, will not be fighting for it. He'll be fighting for the interim belt, and someone has come in to replace him. Of course, he has already fought for the interim world title against Sebastian Fundora, won by KO. Of course, you love him. You may or may not hate him. It's Brian Mendoza. That's right, 22-3 with 0 draws, 16 wins by way of knockout. That's right, one of them being Sebastian Fundora himself. 3 losses. Of course, nothing but the best of the super welterweight division. Of course, you got Larry Gomez. I have no idea who the hell that guy is, but we'll just have to assume he's of the elite. He then lost to Ramos Jr. and of course, most recently to Tszyu. That's right. Of course, Serhiy Bohachuk is 23-1 with let's just say has a wee little bit of knockouts. That's right, 23 wins by way of knockout. He is undefeated in terms of knockout wins, but in terms of actual wins, not so much. He has lost once, so that's something. Of course, he was supposed to fight for the vacant belt, but I think as it goes, the winner of this fight, the winner of Baruchuk and Mendoza, will face the winner of Terence Crawford versus the winner of Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora. Of course, because Terence Crawford got his way, and now he'll be mandatory after the fight. But anyways, he has fought some less than stellar opponents, but the person he did lose to was the 22-3 at the time, Brandon Adams. That was the most. Dude literally TKO'd him and then just left. Literally, he beat Shane Mosley Jr. He lost to Charlo, but that was a unanimous decision. It was a bad loss, but it was Jamal Charlo at the time where most people thought he was the best. Of course, that's so weird. You just beat like 2-3 good people and you just leave. But anyways, of course, Mendoza had his work cut out for him. He'll be fighting a absolute monster in this guy, 23 knockouts in 23 fights, or 24 fights, depending on how you want to go. But his other fights are less than stellar, 42-4. With that many fights at the age of 33, you can tell this man was not. It was all right. That guy lost to Jaime Munguia, which is super weird. But of course, who do I got winning? Brian Mendoza, he has found a way twice against Rosario and Fundora. Unfortunately, Tszyu was a little too defensive for him. He was doing well, but the power got to him, which may be saying, oh, this guy has power too. He'll be able to do it. No. He hasn't fought anyone good. He fought Brandon Adams and then lost, and then he just retired. He said, all right, that's good enough. Look at his fights. Barely anyone you could see like, that's actually a decent win. The best record recently is 16-2. Rafael Ijoke, whatever that dude's name is. I'm sorry. But he has not been too, well. He hasn't been too well. I got Mendoza winning. Is he going to win by knockout? I do think. I think his inexperience will catch up to him, especially against someone like Mendoza, who will 100% capitalize on it. I got Mendoza getting his ticket punched again for a world title fight. Whether that be against Terence Crawford or the winner of Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora. It'll be something we'll have to see. But anyways, bunch of Americans on the card. Of course, you had Elijah Garcia. You also had Brian Mendoza. And now you have Erislandy Lara. Of course, this guy, it's been all right. He's been the WBA regular champion for quite a bit of time until Triple G vacated the belts and it upgraded him to be the actual champion of the division. Of course, he is coming off of a TKO win against Gary Spike O'Sullivan back in 2022. And the way he won was, as I say, he got a little mad. You've been wondering, what do you mean by that? Simple. Spike O'Sullivan, he was just chilling, just wanted to stay on his own little movement. He wasn't really doing anything. Gary O'Sullivan pushed the pace and Lara got mad and he punched him in the face. And he stopped him. But of course, his other losses have not been that bad of a loss. Of course, most people know the loss to Canelo Saul Alvarez. He also lost to Paul Williams. And Jarrett Hurd. That's right. But he managed to find his way back into a world title fight. Won the super welterweight one. And moved up and won the WBA one. He is a WBA guy. Of course, he went split decision with Brian Castano. That's his own thing. But of course, he'll be defending his belt against Michael Zarafa, 31-4. Very interesting. Of course, Lara is old. He's definitely getting up there in age. But he hasn't really been in too many wars. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of action doesn't mean it's a war. He definitely looked younger. That's what I'm trying to say. Of course, the co-main event is Isaac Cruz, or of course most people know Pitbull. He'll be fighting for his first world title. That's right. He'll be facing Rolando Rolly Romero for the WBA Super Lightweight World Championship. Of course, both of these people are coming off of some weird wins. Of course, Pitbull is 25-2 with 1 draw. 17 wins by way of knockout, and that's about it. But anyways, he came off of a split decision win against Giovanni Cabrera, of course. Split decision win. Most people are like, "What? How's a split decision?" Pitbull was getting outboxed for the majority of the fight. The only reason why he won is because Cabrera had his chin up in the air and used his face to block punches. So of course they would give him more rounds because of that. Not only that, he's coming off of some weird wins. Of course, he beat Eureka's Gamboa. Of course, most people know that he's old as hell and should probably retire at this point. Eduardo Ramirez fought at lighter weight classes, got knocked out. Really nothing much about it. He has fought another undefeated opponent, that being Jose Matias Romero. Unanimous decision win. Of course, when he's facing some pretty durable guys, he goes decision. Why? Because he's not that, his skill definitely not up there. Now, of course, the champion Rolando Rolly Romero, 15-1 with 13 wins by way of knockout and 1 loss by way of knockout. Of course, most people know where that 1 knockout came from. But anyways, he's also coming off of a very weird win, that being a 9th round TKO against Ismael Barroso. Most people will say TKO in air quotes. Why? Because the fight got stopped because Rolly landed an astonishing 0 punches on him. And of course, most people were making fun of him because the old man was whooping his ass, dropped him. But then Ismael Barroso fought O'Hara Davis and knocked him out in the very first round. So they're like, yeah, he definitely means business. But anyways, of course, most people are like, oh, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. Isaac Cruz is going to absolutely bully Rolly Romero. That could very well be the case, but Romero is doing relatively well against Tank. I'm going to tell a knockout. You say, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter until a knockout. Yeah, first of all, because Rolly lost because he's dumb as hell. He used the same combo twice. He never played video games. You should never do that. What kind of thing is that? But anyways, Rolly got quite a bit of power. Only 2 people went decision with him. That one being Jackson Marinez, undefeated fighter, and Javier Martinez, 4-4, back in 2018. So obviously he's done nothing but KO people. To be honest, it's definitely going to be a lot closer for the sole fact that Isaac Cruz is 135 and already like 5'3". So yeah, that dude's not tall. That dude's not tall. He's going to be putting a lot of weight on himself. May or may not be too much. We need to see. But Rolly definitely got a lot of power. He definitely, like the people say, twitchy. So he could counter Pitbull. The thing is, Pitbull has that unrelenting unrelenting pressure, which of course will probably be used to, TKO Rolly. Rolly will have probably a tough time keeping him off of him. Couldn't even keep Barroso off of him, but he is a tricky southpaw, so that could definitely be a reason. But anyways, of course, I think Pitbull's still going to win, but like 10th round stoppage. I think Rolly does very relatively well, but I think he gets caught with a hook and he gets dropped. So, yeah. Very interesting fight. They will definitely be very entertaining. Why? Because the other fights, let's just say, not too competitive. Of course, Elijah Garcia is fighting some dude. Hasn't been doing too well recently. Julio Cesar Martinez is actually on the fight. He was supposed to fight December 16th, but it was scrapped and now it's brought back. He wasn't there for the end of Showtime, but he's here for the beginning of Prime Video. Anyways, for that fight, I got Julio Cesar Martinez by like 9th round TKO. I think he gets it done. Cordova's record is not that good. But anyways, main event of the evening for the WBO and vacant WBC Super Welterweight World Championships. Tszyu versus the towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. Of course, Sebastian Fundora is 20 with 1 loss and 1 draw. 13 wins by way of knockout. Of course, we all know where that 1 loss came from. It came from the GOAT, Brian Mendoza. But before that, when he was still undefeated, he fought Carlos Ocampa and Erickson Lubin. Very nice fight. Of course, most people thought he lost to Mendoza. Why? Because he does not use his range or height advantage. Look at him. Super welterweight at 6'5". What are you doing, man? You're 6'5". Get back in line. Go. Use your range. What are you doing? But whatever. Tszyu, on the other hand, undefeated and has fought a similar opponent. That's right, Brian Mendoza and Carlos Ocampa in the same order. Fundora fought Carlos Ocampa, then Brian Mendoza. Then Tszyu fought Carlos Ocampa, then Brian Mendoza. He's stealing his fighters. And now they're fighting each other. Because one has actually got the win on Brian Mendoza by unanimous decision. It was a decently contested fight up until like the halfway point. Then Tszyu took over. Of course, he's also fought a bunch of bums. Tony Harrison hasn't fought in forever. Then, knocked him out. Taro Gashel has no power. Carlos Ocampo obviously already got KO'd in the first round by Errol Spence Jr. Then you got some Very nice guy. Takeshi Inoue. That's right. The man that went toe-to-toe with Jaime Munguia. Very nice. But who do I got winning? Of course, it is a very interesting fight. Why? Because Fundora does not use his range. How many times we have to tell this guy? He's 6'5". Get out of there. What are you doing? Why are you so close? But anyways, he got dropped against Lubin. Why? Because he was getting so close. You're 6'5". What are you doing? What are you doing? You're too tall for this, man. What you doing in boxing? Why aren't you in the NBA? Get out of here. But anyways, Tszyu definitely got power. He likes to somewhat be patient. He definitely, likes it. Weird thing is, Tszyu likes uppercuts. I don't know if it was because how he stopped Harrison. But he was trying to spam uppercuts against Mendoza too. It's like, bro, you're not catching him with that. Get out of there. What are you doing? You know who also likes uppercuts? Sebastian Fundora. He loves uppercuts. Why? Because he likes fighting on the inside. You're 6'5". Get out of there. What are you doing? Everyone got to tell him he's 6'5". What are you doing? You got to use your range. You got to snipe him. What are you doing so close? Get out of there. But anyways, weirdly enough, Fundora against Ocampo and Lubin. And even Mendoza. When he's inside, he absolutely bodies everyone. Weirdly enough. But he also tires them out super well. They get super tired. Mendoza looked like he was about to go out. But he landed the punch. Ocampo was always like that. He was always tired or something. Lubin just got bodied, so that's something. But anyways, Tszyu is the obvious favorite for obvious reasons, obviously. But I kinda like Fundora. I like his chances. If he learns from his mistakes, he's been out of the ring for a year. Definitely enough to recover from a KO. And definitely enough to learn from his mistakes. With that being said, will he do that? Probably not, but I trust him. Look at his face. He definitely looks like he means business. He's coming off of a loss in front of his hometown crowd, or not hometown crowd, but his fans. Wasn't even sold out. That dude definitely coming in with a vengeance. I got Fundora winning. TKO, 7th round, stamp it. That's right. If it was legal, I would put $1 billion on Fundora. Maybe not that much, but you get the point. But anyways, Fundora, I think he gets it done. He's like a shredder. You get in close, he's gonna tire you out really badly. I don't know how Tszyu will react to that. I don't know how he'll react to a tall opponent. Be like, oh, he's gonna go to the body. That's how you get countered, you bum. The new and improved Sebastian Fundora will use his height. He is 6'5". This time he will not be on the inside. He'll be on the outside, picking and poking at him. Hopefully that'll be enough. But anyways, yeah, Fundora, 11th round TKO. I got him that stamp it, put it in. He'll be the unified world champion. He'll fight Terrence Crawford. He'll knock him out too. But anyways, there are a lot of, not mismatches, but they won't be competitive. Well, but isn't that a mismatch? Yeah, whatever. Tszyu versus Fundora. Most people think it will just be a zoo, murder. They even said that for Thurman. Rolly Romero versus Isaac Cruz. This is going to be competitive, somewhat. Erislandy Lara versus Zarafa will definitely not be competitive. Lara's whooping him. Julio Cesar Martinez versus undefeated fighter, but when you look at his record, he is a bum. No offense, he steps in the ring, he deserves respect, but he a bum. And then you got Brian Mendoza fighting the knockout artist. That will definitely be the most interesting. I got him winning, but you never know. But with that being said, Elijah Garcia is also fighting a dude who has not been doing too well recently. Kind of a mismatch. But anyways, that'll be the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Next video will be also March 30th, that being Gilberto Ramirez fighting for the title in the second division for the second time. Cruiserweight. Welcome, Gilberto Ramirez. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.